Interesting transmission coming in. I feel a bit like a receiver that's picking up signals, sound waves from the ether. I hear like fragments of music, the soundtrack from Ziggy Stardust, the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the spiders from Mars. Ziggy Stardust really coming through is like an archetypal symbol of the type of energy we're moving into, the fluidity, the inability to sort of label who we are because we're not yet who we are here to be. That's how it's coming through. It's a really interesting energy. And I got some piece here about making a particular junction to be able to slip through a Stargate that's going to appear on the horizon. You'll be able to spy it because it shines bright like the morning star, which makes me think of Venus. When you can see Venus rising on the horizon with the sun, the first moments when you're kind of in that twilight space, that liminal space, that becoming space, the in-between space, which is a very Ziggy Stardust kind of energy. There's something about that. You might even want to listen to the soundtrack for that movie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. There might be a little thread that runs through those songs and the story they spin that will tell you, Maya, how you can spin the illusion into the stuff of stardust and dreams. There's still this piece coming through about origin story and something about thinking you know who you are, but you've only just begun to really crack out of a particular shell that's kept you contained for too long. It's like burgeoning life. It's very undefinable at this time, and what comes up ahead may absolutely refuse to be put in a box. But it has immense potential. But there's this like dissolution of the old form that's happening. And it can feel pretty destabilizing and quite uncertain. And yet, if you can tap into the deeper undercurrent, you'll feel that buzz more as an awakening force, something new that's stirring inside you. Whatever you're feeling here, you haven't felt this feeling before. There's something new coming in. And there's a lot of imagery around the star coming in, and certainly there's the piece of the star associated with the sign Aquarius that speaks of all of those Uranian sort of ideals to break the mold and shine brightly and burn hot and fast and shoot out into orbit and leave a blazing trail. It's got those kind of vibes, and it also has the vibes of bringing something back from her time of wandering off into the alfalfa, to pour something back into the earth, make something grow, make something beautiful take root. It's really interesting energy. And simultaneously, speaking of those spiders from Mars, there's the quality of spiders that is about weaving things into being, and there's still this piece coming in about the World Wide Web and how significant of a role it's playing in weaving the threads of fate into the stuff of our collective destiny in the future. And a lot of creativity and a lot of expansion and a lot of innovation happening in the areas of tech Starlink really coming in very strongly, and a lot of interesting developments, a lot of interesting things happening, a lot of interesting transmissions being picked up from satellites. Things that we can't see right now, but things that we may sense could also be a bit of the shadow side of the Plutonian energy. I got vibes of like gray face. Be on the lookout for gray face wanting to clamp down on anybody who gets a little too Arisian. You know? Don't get too out of order. Don't get too out of line as you're striving to make that connection point through the Stargate. When you're standing up and you're ready to fight to avoid the wasting of the dawn. It's interesting. You're being guided forward here, though, as you're moving through some pretty tricky territory where there is a lot that's concealed at this time, but yeah, you feel it. You're picking up the signals. Just little interesting bits of information or sensations or imagery you're seeing. It may seem kind of random, and yet you know that there's connecting points there. You know there's a deeper meaning. It requires you to understand that there is something almost ethereal about what others may write off as being nothing more than absurdity. Absurdity is a way through right now. Absurdity is a way through. The undefinable is a way through. The in-between, the liminal is a way through. It's a way through what has become a bit of an uneasy resting place. The time for rest is over in terms of grokking our dreams from that space. It's like active dreaming. Active dreaming. Those lines of distinction are starting to blur. That's what I got. The lines of distinction are starting to blur. What is dream? What is the waking dream? There's something about the two merging, like the dream life and the waking dream. The Stargate might have something to do with lining up around that time of the Lion's Gate, because usually around that time there's visibility of Venus on the horizon. In that sort of twilight space, that in-between space. But I feel like there's something coming in now that's starting to build on this energy. Very unusual. Whatever's coming in, though, is really going to shift how you even experience yourself. Like, I feel like something unfamiliar is awakening in you. Yeah, it's almost like outwardly you're kind of going through the motions, almost like you're playing a character, right? Much like Ziggy Stardust, because inside everything's really mutable. It's all shifting. This is the part of you that you keep secret, that there's all these new like aspects of yourself and feelings you're having and things you're experiencing that you can't even define. You don't know how to articulate it. It makes you feel odd sometimes. Some of you may feel like a bit of a poser, you know? Some of you may feel really like in the in-between space, in between any of the big, like, transitionary spaces of life, at an in-between age, neither young nor old, but not quite middle-aged either. You know, what age is this I'm in? It's a really hard energy to articulate in words, but there is something that's happening here. And there's like been this message that's come through multiple times about character development. And it's almost like there's these characters that are coming to the surface and you're trying them on for size in the sense of, I feel like layer by layer, what you kept held inside, you're starting to allow to bubble to the surface, which can be a very shape-shifting kind of experience because you're starting to show up in a new way. And then as a result of that, your environment and the people that you're making contact with, they're also responding in a new way, sometimes reacting in a new way. And yet there's something about this process, this becoming process. It's like, okay, I'm out of the goop stage and now I'm coming into my new form. I'm taking on this new form. And there's something about that. Like you can't pass through the Stargate, which acts like a wormhole, you know, it's like an interstellar teleportation device that instantly sends you into orbit. It's like a straight shot to your north node. You don't have to like sit around contemplating your navel anymore because your navel is like, you know, ooh, maybe your navel itself is like that teleportation device. You know, it's almost, I don't know why I got that imagery, but that is coming from like the sacral chakra area. I'm almost seeing it as like an energetic line, like a wormhole, okay? Going from the navel to like a wormhole, like the navel is a wormhole. I don't know how else to describe it. It's all in the center of you. That's how it's coming through. And I know that may sound really strange. Believe me, it's strange to me. It's like, how am I supposed to deliver this message? But I know there's others out there that are picking up some pretty weird stuff, man. And so I'm just going to let it all hang out. I'm going to bring it on through. Yeah, let's get this party started. Let's get this celebration going, this dawning of the age of Aquarius. Let's have ourselves a time. Let's take that Plutonian energy by the tail, you know. We're going to pluck something to feast on out of that dark, shadowy terrain. You know? We know that when we dive deep into this dark, shadowy terrain, there's always some kind of treasure to be found. And that certainly involves within us too. I mean, when you've been journeying through the star, just when we're looking at tarot as an archetype, you have been heading through the dark. And you have been reflecting. You've been reflecting on the waters, but more like scrying, you know? Pouring all the emotions, pouring all of the tears, pouring all of the nostalgia and all of the energy that you're a conduit for into this reflecting upon the ground of what's been the source of nourishment in your life. And there's new parts of you that you're discovering that are crying out for something more. because they're not getting what they need to grow and thrive. And it's not until these aspects of yourself have been integrated that you'll be able to actually activate that Stargate. And I don't know why it's coming through the navel like that, like the navel is a portal itself. I mean, the navel is in direct line to the Hara line. It's also what connected us to the mother and was our source of nourishment. And there might be a little something reflected there too, like the need to reconnect with the mother. And I think of the mother, and when I look at that in terms of the world soul, I think of the earth, Mother Earth. It's like Father Sky, Aquarius is, come back down to earth after being out there drifting in the ether for a while, and is saying, okay, I've had the vision, I went out, I adventured, I took the journey of the fool, I've been on the hero's quest, now I'm coming back with a message to teach you how you can transport yourself forward onto the path that aligns you with the stars, with your star, the star that was made especially for you, that's encoded with the destiny, the dreams of your ancestors that live through you now. And all you have to do is break on through the center of you. But in order to do that, you need certain elements of yourself to come together that can access this potential. Through Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. Really interesting. There's something transformational happening here. There might be some kind of blockage here in the sacral chakra. Something is being dissolved. Whatever was there that was holding this blockage in place, it was like holding back your ability to step into the new, is dissolving. It's going through a dissolution process. Okay. Oh, well, that's a lot. That's a lot. It's like you've been looking for something. You've been looking for something that would nourish you. And it's sort of been with you all along, but you haven't been able to see it. You haven't been able to see it because you've been looking in the wrong places. But there's something coming in here that's going to shift your view. It's going to shift the view of your dawn, like where you've been looking for that dawn to come. The Stargate. It may be on a different horizon than you anticipated. There's something about that. And I do believe it's speaking of the exaltation of the Venusian energy. And that morning star is Venus. Because you've been journeying down a certain road that's kept you in this place where you've had to really be in that prickly state. You've been tense. You felt agitated. You felt like you were dealing with a lot of abrasiveness around you. And there's a lot of your water. We have to remember that with Aquarian energy, okay? Because the Aquarian energy is coming in just so strong right now. With the Aquarian energy, they are the water bearers. So there's something about this. It's like the water bearer has been holding in the water for too long, that nurtures what is going to be growing for the future here. But there's this point of having to tap into that source of nourishment, because the fuel is running low. There's no fuel for the fire that leads the charge to bring about the transformation. and certain things that our sights have been set on as being our reward, our objective, what we're trying to achieve, or what we see as, you know, our piece of the pie, you know. It's going through a state of transformation. That eel medicine coming in, it is a very Uranian sort of influence here. It's almost like I've been stabbing in the dark, you know. I've been setting my sights on the wrong things. They temporarily satisfy, but then soon leave me feeling agitated. They leave me feeling like I'm missing something that's missing that I keep looking for. Man, I've been down on my knees looking for it. I've looked under the sofa. I've looked under the end tables. I even, you know, lifted up the mattress and crawling around on the ground looking for, where's my keys? Where did I put my keys? Yeah, there's something about like no gas in the tank, like low on energy from, you know, staying in this place where there's been some kind of refusal to rise because you haven't tapped into an aspect of yourself that actually understands what you're rising up into. That's how it's coming through. Any more details about this? Yep. And you're right about at the point that you are going to make a decision. And the decision is going to be to cut off this aspect of yourself that isn't even you. It's something you've taken on that has become a bit of over processing, over intellectualizing, trying to make too much sense of something. It's coming through like an exaltation of your consciousness. And whatever this is, it's something that allows you to finally free yourself from what's been tethering you, from what's been holding you back. Let me do a cut of the deck here, and then I'm going to get some standard tarot out here on the board. See, the brain is transforming, the thought patterns are transforming, the ideas are transforming. Something that has been complicated is being cut off. It's like almost understanding that there's a particular problem you've been trying to resolve through figuring it out, but there's no way to figure it out. There's only one way to resolve the complication, and that's to stop thinking and rise. Stop looking for it. Stop trying to understand. Instead, start just to move into the motion. Through just sensing, getting really in touch with what you're feeling should be the next step. There's an evolutionary process happening here. To me, this feels like there's a lot of people that are coming on board. Like, I had this interesting sort of like meditation the other night where I was almost visioning like this level of reality, this dimension of reality as this like field of light, right? And I was almost seeing like the quantum field, like these different levels, you know, platforms, you could say, of just like light field, because light is the creative energy. And again, this makes me think of the Starlink energy, which, you know, a lot of people have been seeing Starlink, have been seeing the satellite activity in the sky, but you know, Starlink sort of like that too. You know, it's like these sources of light, and they're all lined up with each other. And in quantum physics, there's this talk of the parallel realities and how they really are all just layered one on top of the other. It's kind of like a cosmic lasagna. I even did a download about the whole cosmic lasagna like concept before. But in my mind's eye, what I saw, okay, as I was meditating on this, and sometimes I don't understand why things come through, but they just get me pondering things from like a new angle. And I think that's a lot of the energy that's coming in for us right now, to just start looking at things with curiosity, even if they seem like a little absurd or out there, or why is that piquing my interest? And just allow ourselves to explore, you know, allow ourselves to journey through these wormholes and see where they transport us to in terms of our understanding, our awareness, how we view ourselves, how we view others, how we view the life experience itself. But what I saw is I saw like these different layers, these different levels of that cosmic lasagna that is the quantum field of parallel dimensions. And I saw them all sort of start to merge together until there was like this bright light that shot out, and it just shot out across the horizon like one dimension. So instead of there being all these parallel realities, the parallel realities unify. And I have no idea what that means. And yet it's something that's coming through in relation to this, like almost like an anchoring. What's kept these structures in place and has created the sense of separation has been a certain anchoring, maybe an anchoring in the consciousness that we're getting beyond, where we're able to short circuit that programming. And so it doesn't have to be all this field of probabilities. The impossibility is realized. Through the center of us, the place where they all merge. Almost like we are the Stargate. I think of Stargate, and I think of the Vitruvian Man, you know, that position the Vitruvian Man holds, created by Leonardo da Vinci, represents the 5 elements: ether, air, fire, water, earth, and that star energy, the stuff that is our origin story, the stardust that we are all made of. But this itself, that stada, it can be like, think of a stada almost like a mudra, only it's a position you hold with your whole body, standing like the Vitruvian Man. Maybe that stirs something in the navel, in the center of us. Maybe it stirs the creative inspiration. Maybe it connects us to the source of our evolutionary process, to our origin story. Something about this understanding activates a part in the consciousness that instantly sends us out into orbit, transports us to that North Star or that North Node, the destiny, the legacy that we are here to fulfill. And we each have one. We each have one. And perhaps there's many probabilities, potential legacies that could be fulfilled. And maybe it's like one of those pick your adventure books where you get to decide, how does this story end? What is the legacy I leave behind at this stage of the game, in my current incarnation? And what if we're constantly incarnating from a place of our conscious awareness, that these concepts of there ever being an end in what is infinite is merely a limitation that we hold in our minds? There could be something coming in here too. There could be something about people that are facing gateways of initiation, gateways of initiation that return them to the source. Those moments when you're in the liminal space at the threshold, gateways of initiation, those who are about to be born, gateways of initiation, those who are about to die. And how all that separates these different stages, life, death, rebirth, comes down to a breath, the last, the first, and how our life is a bit like that too. One breath at a time. There's something about the focus becoming a lot more acute, almost like field study, but it feels like quantum field study, just sort of coming about through your natural curiosity that's being piqued right now, or unusual thoughts that enter your head that you're like, why am I having that thought? What is that about? And then you're like, well, let me tug on that little thread. Let me see where it leads. And then before you know it, you've just opened up this whole field of possibility, things you've never pondered before, considered before. And yet it's strange because I almost feel like that energy of gray phase, like the man, is just sort of hanging out on the periphery like a goon squad trying to prevent this from happening. Quick, reinforce the matrix. Put those grids back in place. Don't let anything happen to those boxes. No more breaking down the boxes. It's really unusual. But that's what happens at the time of a dying age that can no longer be the way forward. The old power structures are starting to recognize that there aren't enough spoons. And people are being drawn in a new direction. They're questioning their loyalty to traditional ideals, objectives. Really interesting. Let's check out some more kind of like down to earth, concrete Rider-Waite tarot through the glow in the dark tarot. Oh, there is an opportunity here. That's a Stargate. Look at that. Look at that. There's even a gateway there. Your Stargate might appear in quite an unusual way, maybe a bit like entering a secret garden, a hidden garden. Look for these like kind of portals showing up in your material reality. They can appear as physical gateways, but much like the rabbit led Alice down the rabbit hole, that was perhaps just another Stargate. Okay. there is something here. It appears in the physical, but it takes you somewhere otherworldly. I got that. Okay. And I know this is kind of a out there energy, man, but this is what's wanting to come through. I'm having a real hard time lately, like reading stuff that is usually read about on YouTube. It's not where the inspiration is coming. It's not where the downloads are coming through. That's not what the multiverse is wanting to discuss with all of you. It's wanting to talk about these more kind of abstract things so you can arrive at your own destination through contemplation, perhaps by contemplating your navel, you know. That can be the wormhole that breaks you on through to the other side and leads you to the source of what's really going to nourish you, you know, what's going to give you life. You may need that, you know, you may need a little of that sustenance coming back in to just sort of like reconnect to that time when you were in that womb space and there that nurturing was there and you felt safe to really like, you know, be held in that space. There's something there about needing that, wanting to return to that, something coming in that relieves a sense of spiritual homesickness. That's how it's presenting itself. I don't know any other way to explain it. It is a trip, man. Okay, let's do some shuffling of cards here just to get some more details about this. I know it's a little weird, but I never said I was normal, okay? You know, for a long time when I was younger, I used to be very, very quiet. In fact, people thought I never had anything to say, but it was because I was like, how am I going to talk to these people? They're going to think I'm really out there, man. They're not going to get me. They're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. They're going to think I'm on something. I've always sort of been very imaginative, you know, always off into the ether from as far back as I can remember. I think there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people like that out there that are starting to really think back, you know, before life kind of took over their perspective. Yeah, perspective is coming through like that of what the road is. Like, this is what my life is. This is how I'm meant to move forward. This is the work I do. This is what it means, you know, to live a life, to have a successful life, to have a fulfilling life. Like, you got to tick off these boxes. And there's something here that is felt far too compromised. And there's been a real desire to get away from what seems contrived or what seems convoluted or difficult to decipher, to just, can we just get to what's real? Can we just be straight up, man? Do we have to like polish it up? Do we have to pretty it up so much? Do we have to appeal to everybody's sensitivities? Can we recognize how when we're constantly appealing to everybody's sensitivities that there's something raw that's lost, and that there's something beautiful in what's raw, you know, just the raw material of something. Because it's not until you really recognize the raw material that you can activate its potential. Once something's already been polished and presented in a certain way, it's like all the creative force has been taken out of it. Perhaps that's this Ace of Pentacles you're being presented with. Ooh. Justice coming in with the Queen of Wands. Perhaps this is the alchemy, work at hand. Perhaps you're being given the raw material, something that's very real, may even have a little grit to it, or may not appear the way it should. According to who? I don't know. According to the cabbage heads out there, that's who, the ones who've already been brainwashed, okay? But that's where the hidden gem lies. That's where the hidden gem lies. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, so there is something, it's something physical that shows up. It's a gateway. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like a portal, and it instantly transports you like to a different perspective, maybe a different community, a different timeline. It unifies your dimensions of parallel realities, and it sends you out into orbit. It's like a fast track. Like there's something here that just, it comes on board. That's what I got. Appears on the horizon. Let's see what this is. It looks like it's something that's physically showing up. And it might even have something to do with an entryway. So pay attention, like, especially over the next 72 hours. Like if you find yourself walking through a gate, you know, or you find yourself going through some kind of entryway you've never been through before. There's truth to what I'm saying here. We got the Queen of Swords with the Ace of Swords. There's something illusory that's being cut through here. You're cutting a way through. You're cutting your way through like this frequency of energy that's held you in this place of like static. So both the transmission and also what you're broadcasting couldn't get through. It's like there's something trying to get your attention to that you've been held in, like, I don't know why, I got like this force field of static. So it's been disrupting the transmission. But it's something that's trying to be relayed to you, and maybe even so you can relay it to others. Like I'm seeing something like passed down the line, you know, it feels like points of interconnectivity. And with that web, you know, imagery that came in, it could be many people that are meant to sort of form links at this time, like in order to transmit something collectively. Like we might all be having this like link up point on the quantum field. And this is what roots the material vision. It's almost like a bunch of alchemists out there combining their forces. And it's just like an illusory aspect that it's separate entities doing this. It's like the Atman is being a bridge to that one consciousness, like the motherboard consciousness, right? And there's still those in the collective that haven't really recognized their true identity. So they haven't tapped into that motherboard yet. But there's a lot of people coming on board. And the more that people come on board, the more the old connections are severed and new connectivity points are formed that give us the clue about what we need to do to rise out of the places of oppression and suppression and reactivating our instinctual how do I want to put this? Our instinctual assignment. Something that is coded in our very DNA that we know, this is what I am here to do. This is my soul's directive. And it's the thing that's been bugging you because you keep trying to connect with this, but there's been something that has been disrupting the ability to link with that knowledge. but you're becoming self-aware of it. You'll recognize I've been looking in the wrong places. I've been looking for it in other people, places, things, but it's been in the center of me all along. But it has something to do with some gateway you're passing through. A gateway of initiation, certainly, but it's something physical. It's something physical. You'll know what this is when it comes, okay? It may take time for it to come, but do pay attention. Over these next 72 hours, pay attention to just like these themes coming in, right? There's something here that is the seed of your future. It holds a lot of potential, and it instantly transports you. Let me see anything else that wants to come in here. And then I think I might get kind of abstract with it. I might roll the dice and pull out some letters just to see what else wants to come in around this. Do you see? The Hierophant in reverse, down with the man. This is the old power structures coming undone. Do you see? That's where the keys are to be found. They're hidden in the roots. I'm seeing this card very differently. Ooh, there's some moment of getting free of what has been a force that's kept us locked in some kind of, I'm going to just call it programming, okay? Because it can come through on many different levels. For some of you, it's spiritual programming. For some of you, it's societal programming. For some of you, it's programming that was inherited from an authority figure in your life. It's the shoulds. It's every box you've ever been put in within the span of your lifetime up until now. And perhaps even lifetimes from the past, and perhaps lifetimes in parallel dimensions that are all collapsing at this time, that are all being broken down. And it's changing the quantum playing field. It's giving you some keys here. There's two keys here. The keys here are crossed. And that makes me think of Gabo. It's a way through, not only for you, but perhaps another two. There's some kind of, again, it's coming through. There's a star link here. There's another on this side of the equation. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's two forces. It's two forces uniting together that are able to open up the Stargate. Justice in reverse. This is really interesting how these energies were both in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. Justice in reverse. There's something about this that is the message. I see that with the Page of Wands that's showing us an enterprising way forward. Let me look at this. What is justice in reverse, Spirit? What is justice in reverse? Temperance on the bottom of the deck there, okay? Something that's being balanced out. Some kind of injustice. It's being balanced out. It's just about time. I'm almost seeing that kind of energy, you know, it's like Brahma's been out there, sort of like, you know, out there hanging out, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm trying to get the blend just right to balance something out. Yeah, that's why the way's been blocked. That's why it feels like there's an inability to step through that Stargate. It's because there's been some kind of misalignment here. Nine of Wands. You may have been fending off something, protecting yourself from something that has been a limiting factor in your life, that's maybe even stolen your dawn from you, in the perspective of your ability to even be able to see a new possibility on the horizon. Something that's been an injustice. You're feeling like a buzz, an activation of energy, perhaps from somebody who is being a bit of an oppressive force or a restrictive force, or it may just even be the current power structures in place that have you feeling like you need to be at the ready. You're not sure what's up ahead, but you feel like it's corrupt, it's unjust, and yet there's something that is in the process of being transformed. How is it being transformed? How is it being transformed? The Star in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, Gemini energy, Venusian energy, the Star in reverse. Making a home in the rut. Making a home in the rut. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Okay, I'm seeing this differently. Wait a minute. I'm finding the way through. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm finding the way through. You'll find the Stargate on the horizon. It shines like the morning star, okay? Look, this looks like a horizon here. When you look at it in reverse, doesn't it look like mountain ranges? Maybe there's a way through a mountain range. Never looked at it like that before. Or there's a way through a dark valley, a way that you haven't explored, the valley of the shadow of death, where all things go to be transformed into the birth of the new dawn. Look, I'm almost seeing this as the Stargate. And there's this like connecting energy that's pouring into Aquarius's vessel here to show the way through to humanity. And there's the Stargate. And so this makes me think of the direction of above on the Elven star, which is connected to Venus. So Venus, because of the squares, the oppressive forces, the structures that have prevented the expansion, are sort of the energy that's at the helm right now. It's holding back the exaltation of this energy. So justice, Libra energy, it's like diving deep into the south node. Deep into the south node, connecting point. There's something here that's connecting back to the time when Libra was in the south node. Now we have Virgo in the south node. Okay, so there's something here that we're finally finding a gateway entry to that connects back to this time. It's like a star link. It's like a linking point related to that south star, right? The south node. Something that was an injustice that is about to move out of the crossroads energy and come into view through the rising of Venus. Six of Cups. It is that linking energy. There's a lot of nostalgia that comes through with the Six of Cups. And I am tapping more into that aspect of it. And I'm not hearing soulmates. What I'm hearing is starmates. So it's coming through. I'm sure this will make sense as things, play out. A lot of times things can come through really abstract or archetypally. But if you drop in with the reads, what I like to do is sometimes I listen back because I don't understand what's coming through when I'm channeling it. But then I'll go out for a walk and I'll listen to the download. I'll take it in myself and I'll see things in my environment, or there will be certain aspects that have like played out in my life and I'll go, oh, that's what that was talking about. And it always strikes me as like funny because of the absurdity of it. It's like, you think it's talking about one thing, but it's not something you can intellectualize. It's something that's put in motion. You got to go on a walk with it. And then there's something that is revealed to you that you couldn't see before. You know what I mean? It's something you can only grok experientially. Yeah, it's like you got to get away from the thoughts about it. The thoughts are what trouble. The thoughts are what have you moving forward in such a way where you never do find the way through. You just keep bringing your troubles forward with you. And wasting the dawn with the Four of Wands in reverse, see? So it's telling me, it's like you can't think your way out of this one. It's not going to happen. It's more like it's an awakening moment. It's like the codes within you. I want to say like light codes. It's like coming through like that. It's something that's awakening within you that couldn't be activated until just now. You weren't ready for it. But who you're becoming will be able to take on this assignment and fulfill the legacy of why you're here in the first place. You got something to do. We all do. It makes me think of the little magic library that I like to go to. I found a gem there like about a week ago. I felt really drawn to go there, and I found a gem, and it was this blank journal. It's just full of blank pages, just waiting to have new things drawn upon them, written upon them. And there is a message that's written on the front of this journal, and it says, "To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist. That is all." I think there's something that we're discovering. It's treasure. It's something very rare. And it's something we haven't been able to identify. Some would call that purpose or the meaning of life. And what that meaning of life is undefinable on a collective level when we look at it from, the scope of our own reality tunnels and how we're experiencing our lives. That's how different people can have such radically opposing perspectives. But when we touch on that thing that takes us out of the place of just existing to really living, that's the key. That's when we know that we're tapping into the purest essence of why we're here. And maybe that's what we're extracting here through a particular gateway we're entering. It's transporting us from a time of just existing to truly living. something that's quite rare coming through here. Like you're being prepared for a rare encounter, a rare experience. The Tower in reverse. This isn't here yet. This isn't here yet. So you know what this is giving me the vibe of? It feels like something that's been a huge source of consternation, okay? Something that's felt extremely oppressive, restrictive, limiting, that's had you feeling hopeless, that's made you feel like there was some impossibility attached to it. Like, how can I take all that water, all the water, the emotions, the love, the devotion, all the water that I poured into that and nurtured that, and how can I turn back that flow and have it refill my cup so I can use it to nurture something else? And recognizing that it was that offering that actually is tapping you into an inexhaustible source. That brings about the rise of this dawn. There's something that feels like it's impossible. And you feel like there's only more gridlock ahead, more challenges ahead. And you may have even accepted, like, I'm never going to get justice in this situation. Or you may feel like you're in a vulnerable position. And then when you're least expecting it, there's this gateway, there's this moment of opportunity that breaks everything wide open. And there's an instantaneous solution. And this instantaneous solution changes everything. It's what sends you into orbit. It's a straight shot to your North Node. It changes everything. But it happens very spontaneously. You might already be picking up on this. Like, you might be feeling like, what's coming? You might have already had like something that set your hackles up. You might have already had somebody kind of like come at you in such a way that it really got you prepared, like, oh, right, what's coming next? And you might be surprised. You might be surprised that actually maybe this person came at you like this because they know that this breakthrough is coming for you, but you're not aware of it. You only sense it. 10 of Pentacles. It brings the anchoring of this, of what you wanted. This moment of justice, this moment of reckoning, this moment of realization. This is pretty wild. Let me do a cut of the deck. I'm going to tap into like some numbers and letters. 4 of Wands in reverse again, okay? This gateway's not here yet. That's what I got. Nope, it's not here. That magic moment is not here yet. It's not here yet. Right now, it feels like everything's dormant. But it will arrive soon. And you'll be spoiled for choice because you're going to recognize that there's more opportunities than you even know what to do with. It's like there's something that multiplies. This message has been coming in too. I mean, it is the benevolence of Jupiter. Yeah, I just keep getting that, like, there's some unexpected manifestation of the resolution of what has felt like an injustice. And this is sort of a smoke screen for what's really happening behind the scene. There's actually more options than you're aware of right now. All right, let's check this out. I'm gonna get some numbers out here, get some details, see what we got. Got the number 6, and we got the number 5. Okay, together that makes 11. So yeah, there's some kind of alignment that's coming in here. And here we have double 4s, 44, master builder number, breaks down to 8, manifestation point of an alignment coming through. This gateway, I'm almost seeing this as the 4 of Wands energy. This gateway may come in on 8/8. It may come in on Lionsgate in Leo season. That's why we can't see it right now. There's something that's still in the place of becoming, like it's going through a transmutation right now, but there's a need to sort of understand where the true entry point is. Like that's concealed right now, I feel. Ooh, and right behind that, we got High Priestess upright. Yep. See, that's what this is. It's the deep dive into the South Node in order to retrieve. I got the Grail, like the Holy Grail. And right as I say, I've got the Knight coming forward with the cup. This could be somebody who's approaching too. All of this is hidden right now, but it is like that exaltation of the Venusian energy. And we are moving forward here. But do you see? Right now, we're moving forward upside down. Oh, that's an interesting message. It's almost like, how can I put this? It's like you've already shifted to the higher dimension, like you're already on that quantum field, but you're just running on the underside of it, since they're all layered on top of each other. You're like the hangman, you're running on the underside of it, and you're still looking down. Oh, I get it. You're still looking down, contemplating your navel, reflecting on the dimension below you, where you've been, to integrate something. But it's like you're going to see through the illusion, like, oh, wait, I'm not in that dimension anymore. And there might be something about entering a gateway that really like awakens this in you. And that's when the magician recognizes the manipulation. And is finally able to move forward with what's been integrated through contemplation on the timeline that has already been transcended. That's what I feel it is. And this is when the way through will be found. We also have the number 3 here showing up. So this is the Gemini energy. It's what had us so conflicted with Jupiter in Gemini, moving into its place of exaltation. We got this month, June, of significance. There might have been some indications that first came in around this in May. There will be the trine in November that absolutely moves us into that like sugar daddy energy of Jupiter. The month of March coming in as well. And then we got number 14 here, temperance. So it's almost like being caught within an energy field of awareness. That's what I feel like it is. It feels like a glamour, to be honest with you. It feels like a glamour, and I got like multiple levels of messages coming in with that. For some of you, you know, you're active wizards, you know, and you've been working with a little bit of that self medicine. You've been working with the coyote medicine a little bit of the trickster medicine. You've been playing with the shadowy material. You may have been very guarded because, you know, it's sort of like you're shadow boxing, right? But it's like, it's theater. It's like shadow puppets, you know, it's theater. It's like, it's a show you're putting on for yourself to be able to take something from that subconscious and awaken it through the creative life force energy. Bring it on up to the surface where the high priestess energy, after doing the deep dive that Ishtar does, becomes exalted, rises like Inanna, queen of the heavens there, bringing about the elevation of the Venusian energy. There's also some truth that is retrieved from the reflection. I think it's like waking up to the reality that, wait, I've been living in a dream. It's like something like that. It has like the quality of like the spell being broken or seeing through the glamour, you know, coming to a place of consciousness, realizing that you were sleeping. Something was tethering you to a certain state of awareness that was anchoring you, and it's being released, and it's providing a way through. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so life path 3, life path 6, life path 5, life path 8, life path 2, life path 1, life path 9. These could factor in. Also, we got Piscean energy, Aries energy, Virgo, Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, all showing up here. Taurus, Libra, Aquarius, strong Aquarius, Scorpio, Aries, Gemini, pretty strong Gemini. All the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. These are the like energies out on the board. Month of April too might be significant. We also have the Venusian energy coming in very strongly, the mercurial energy. Mercury retrograde may be a time when there's like this like sort of suspended animation coming up, when we get a glimpse into this perspective, when we realize we've kind of been moving in a haze or moving under a glamour, or some spell that was cast over our consciousness is cleared away. We cut through the illusion. Okay. All right, let's get some letters. I really just decided to dive deep with this one and just, you know, meander with it and see what comes on through. I encourage you to meander a bit, you know, just ramble on, man. You don't need to have a particular objective in your conversations or your explorations. Or even in your travels, whether they're travels in the physical or travels in the mind, okay? Get some letters out here. Let's see what wants to come on through. If I bring in names, okay, it could be speaking to you. It could be speaking to somebody of significance that you're linking up with. It could be a name that doesn't resonate with you at all right now, but it will down the road, okay? There's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just pulling out of the grab bag of the cosmic forces at play, and we're playing a bit of spiritual Scrabble here and seeing what comes on through. The first word I see is joy. I just heard joy to the world. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Was a good friend of mine. Okay, there's something about that. There's something about that there, okay? Yeah, you may think that like everything's coming to an end, but you'll see there's a rhyme and a reason to what's going down here, okay? You're not going to drown in the delusions of dystopia here, okay? You're about to change the landscape. There's something here that's going to give you the inspiration to go the distance. You're going to be built for speed. Even though you feel all alone in a time of need, right? It's not so. That day, the dawn of a new day is at hand. Wonder if there's a particular day that is coming through of significance. We'll see what presents itself here. It's not about where you've been, okay? It's not about where you've been. You're about to bridge the gap of a lot of distance quite instantaneously. And where something has got to give, it's going to start giving and giving and giving some more. And it's going to be like Thanksgiving. Okay? And I don't mean the oppressive aspect of the roots of that tradition. Perhaps giving back something that was lost, something that feels like an injustice, maybe some kind of rectification, a wrong being righted, a wrong being righted that changes this leg of the journey. I've also got like Legba energy, road opener energy, finding the way through a field of fallow to a field of gold. And when you arrive there, you're going to have a field day. And discover what it really means to be living instead of just surviving. Stay tuned. This is only a test. And what seems like a pest to you is actually there to get your attention for a reason you may not suspect. Let's see if there's any names I can get out here. I mean, we had Joy come through right off the bat. There's something coming through about like there's some date of significance. What date? What's the date of significance? The 7th. July 7th could be a date of significance. When there's a point where you move forward. And I see you're like right side up at that time. You're not upside down anymore. Okay, so pay attention to the 7th. That may be when you encounter this gate. Be something that comes in July. I got the name Debbie, Deb, Little Deb. Somebody likes little heavies. Somebody called little Debbies. The name Liv, Olivia, Tyler, because I think Liv, Tyler. Somebody could be a model. Somebody could have a parent who's a musician. Could be something in relation to Steven Tyler. Got the name Stan. I heard the name Stan. I also heard Les Paul. So yeah, there could be some like something connected to Facebook with a musician of significance. Got the name Greta. Somebody wants to get away. They want to fly away. They'll alert you about their estimated time of arrival. That's what's coming through there. ETA. You may not know when something's going to arrive on the scene, but you'll find out. Got the name Gale. I also got like the gales, the winds of change. Like the wind's going to start picking up. And with that, I got ET. So there might be a Stargate showing up on the horizon. There might be some kind of like otherworldly, extraterrestrial kind of event. There could also be more kind of coming in as distraction, wag the dog stuff through what's going on in the entertainment industry. It's really sort of like to divert our attention from much bigger stuff going on at this time. I heard Chandra. That in connection with a gat. Okay. Might hear something coming out in relation to a weapon in connection with a celebrity, something that might be like a little shocking. A player getting caught up. So random. Like there's so many just like really random messages coming through. Yeah, somebody might be trying to make a break for it right now. They want to get away. Could be a musician. Not Y&T, that band Y&T, Yesterday and Tomorrow. With that, I got IV. Could be hearing about somebody who's sick. They might be about to transition. Somebody may have been sitting on this information, not telling you for a long time. They're going to play it off like they didn't know, but they did know. They just kept this information from you for some reason. Some of you might need to ID someone. Got North Dakota coming in around that. I heard someone died in sin. So it came through. Maybe they finally got caught up. Or caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. Born under a bad sign. This could be like somebody who plays the blues. Got the name Dan. Danny. That song Danny Boy. Be like an Irish connection. There could be a playa connection. Something like connected to Burning Man. Something that went down on the playa. That Tennessee coming in there. Somebody might be brought in for questioning. This is so strange. For those of you who've been feeling sensitive with all the energy swirling about the atmosphere, make sure to take good care of your pets. Okay, some of your pets may be demonstrating some symptoms of anxiety. They're very sensitive to the energies too, okay? So do what you can to calm down your pets. Got quarterback coming in here. So there might be a quarterback in the news that's got something going on. It's going to be coming on through. You know, sometimes these messages may seem like, well, what the heck does that have to do with this message? But it could be like stuck to help you sort of spot timing of this shift. That's South Beach, Nebraska. Some private information is about to be leaked. Something that's been suppressed is about to be released. It's to be announced. And then coming back to joy, the way we started, enjoy. So I don't know, what I kind of got coming in here is there's something that's been very frustrating. It's been a source of consternation. And It's about to be completely transformed. It turns yesterday into tomorrow. It's almost like you've been attached to yesterday. And you've been caught in between yesterday and tomorrow, but there's something that's bridging the gap here. There's something that's coming in to remedy the situation. And it happens quite unexpectedly. Whatever this is, it provides a way through, okay? Initials, we got V, we got E, we got T, we got S. SS. There might be something about a ship, okay? Somebody with double S initials in their name, like a first name, last name that began with S. Same thing with the letter P, could be significant. Yeah, there's something that's about to be rectified. I got exchange bank. So like, I feel like where something was taken from your bank, it's about to be returned to you. Like if something was stolen from you, you're taking it back. It's like there's something that's being balanced here that's rectifying this. It's a big take back. That's what I hear. All right. All right. We'll see how this plays out. Just check it out, dip into the energy, feel what you feel. If you've noticed any kind of like synchronicities come through here, if it's been picking up on things that you've been picking up on too, I'd love to hear your thoughts, because this is really some interesting stuff that's been coming on through. But I think we're going to find a way in where we've been feeling cast out. The time is nigh.